Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So today we're going to do an art journal page using a Hero Arts Mermaid themed kit. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so it feels like a little while since I've done an art journal kind of page, so that's what I thought I'd do today. So I've got my piece of mixed media paper. This is the Fabriano mixed media paper. This is what I use in my art journal. It's a little bit thinner than watercolor paper, but it's not smooth paper. It's sort of somewhere in between, so it gives me a really nice finish, well, I feel anyway. What I'm going to use today mainly is this one. This is the My Monthly Hero July 2022 kit. This is one that I got in that Destash box that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. And it's one that I'm not meant to get. I never meant to get it. I just sort of always looked at it and went, oh, I like that. But I never sort of went, yeah, I'm going to get it. So this is the universe's way of saying I was supposed to have this, because you guys know I love mermaids and stuff. So what I want to do is play with the ink a little bit. This is what came in the kit. It's a reactive palette with 5 Hero Arts colours. And I was playing with it off screen just before. And this is sort of the watercolour effect that I got. This is the exact same paper. And I want to give it a shot with like the whole page and see sort of what I get here. Whenever I'm doing art journal pages, I'm just playing. I'm just seeing what I can create more than anything. But what I do want to do is make sure that I get my mermaid still as the sort of feature image. So I'm going to have her, I'm going to cut her out normally. But I want to put like some of these other images in the background, but I want them to be subtle. I don't want them to be, you know, the focals or anything. So I'm just popping the ones in that I want to do that for. So I'm just trying to work out. I'm just going to bring my mermaid in just for a sec. So I want her to sort of sit there-ish. So I've got the coral at the bottom, and then we're going to put our jellyfish sort of at the top here. And then I kind of don't like the way that that's in the corners. It bothers me. But I don't want them to overlap because I want to be able to sort of pick them up. Okay, well let's then do this and then there we go. That's better. And we've got some bubbles. So that's the way it's sort of going to sit. Because this is bigger than my Misty. Actually, it's not bigger than my Misty. Is it? I reckon it's about the right size. Oh, no, just a little bit too big for my Misty. I thought it might be. I'm just going to grab my really, really big acrylic block. And I'm just going to pick up that first lot on one side. And the other set on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear heat emboss all of this onto my background, which means I'm going to get some resist happening. So I'm just running the whole thing over with some powder and then pulling those back up again. So I've got all of these on one side. I'm going to pop that over there for a sec while I ink it up with some Versamark ink. So we're just going to go bang, bang, bang. We're not aiming for perfection with this because that's the point. Oh, a minute there I thought it was going to get stuck. So we're just going to pop this down. Let's go about here. We'll just push that down. The only thing I have fears with now is that I can't see. I can't see. So I don't know if it's transferred properly. We'll find out when we do this. So then I've got my clear embossing powder. And we'll just go straight down. Yeah, no, I got it. It's all good. You guys aren't going to be able to see a thing. Trust me, it's there. We'll pop this back in. Did that the wrong way. Really wish I could get the... Oh, you weirdo. Weirdo's my word for when I want to call myself something else. And I'm not allowed to say that on camera. So, weirdo. I really wish I could get the round American coffee filters. I can't find them in Australia. I've looked. Can't find them. So we're just going to go with this. So I'm just going to heat emboss this really quickly, and then I'm going to come back and do the other side, or the top part, and then we'll come back and do the background. I love the detail in that. So good. Alright, I'm just going to give this a wipe off because we're going to do all of the inky fun now. I'm just going to, yeah, there we go. Just giving this a bit of a wipe too, just to get off any of the powder that might still be on there. Alright, so I'm a bit funny sometimes with these kind of inks. I don't know whether I love them or I hate them because like I need to work out how to sort of make this the right height. So I need this to go over the whole page, but I only want the blue at the top and I only want the purple at the bottom. So I'm going to put the whole swipe down the middle, and I don't mind if it gets a little bit sort of contaminated there. And then I'll put some more purple at the bottom, and I'm just going to pick up this little bit of blue. A bit more purple at the bottom, and then a bit more blue at the top. I'm going to get purple anyway, aren't I? Whoopsies. And I'll just wipe off that purple at the top. This is where glass mats are fun because they allow for things like this. There we go. I think I need a little bit more blue and teal and pretty. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's what we're going to look like. It's about right anyway. Yes, I've made some colours across the top. I don't mind. Lots and lots and lots of water because I want these to wiggle up into each other. And then make sure I got the right side. And then straight in. And then we're going to give it some love. I do find it comes through just a little bit. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I like the messiness on the back of the paper. Makes me feel like I've done something. Uh-oh. Oh no, it moved. But that's okay. Alright. Well, it's covered everything I wanted it to. That's the first thing. So, I'm going to pop that. I actually like that. I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to dry it in just a sec. But I have all this. This is an extra little bit of paper that I had from before when I was playing. So I'm just picking this up. I didn't realise it was going to be quite that vibrant. I thought it was going to be a bit more loosey-goosey. Oh yeah. I love playing with colour like this. Well, do you know what? It would have been really good. It would have been beautiful in the gel press. I didn't even think of that. I should have done that. Anyway. Oh, okay. Whoa! Escape of the paper. I've got ink on my top. Oh well. I'm just going to pop that there. Alright, I'm going to clean this up. I am, but I'm going to grab one more piece of paper. Because I feel I can get some more out of this. Always just put more water down. This is one of those times I feel like I need, oh yeah. How good's that? I feel like I need like a drying station in my room. Oh, that's beautiful. Excellent. Things to make. Alright, I'll clean this up. And then let's have a look at this properly now that it's dried enough to give me some flat. So I'm just gonna, I just want to move that a little so I get a little bit more drip into that. Okay, I'm going to dry this really quick. I want to heat set it. Move a little bit. Just going to move a little bit more of that out. There we go. I usually try to avoid using, oh, that was too much. That's okay. I usually try to avoid using paper towel, but I just feel like there's a little bit too much in this top. So I'm just patting it off. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just patting that off and it will just turn out beautifully. So I'm going to heat set all of this. Alright, I'm not going to spend any more time drying these off because let's face it, I don't actually need them. So, not right now anyway. So I'm going to put those off to the side. This is the final one that we've got here. I love it. I really do. I feel like it's a little, it might be a little bit too much at the bottom. Might be a little bit too purple, but I'm going to run with it. I'm going to run with it. I also got tons on my hands. Alright, this is my other little spray bottle that if you remember to my favourites I showed off. This has got Perfect Pearls powder all through it. I could seriously just sit here and look at the Perfect Pearls all day. But these are still reactive, I think, after you heat set them. So what I want to do is I'm going to put a bunch of this in my hand. And I'm just going to flick it on because I don't want a spray of pearl, but I want some more little flicks. I'm going to have this on my hand for days, but that's alright. So I've got some drops happening. Some big ones, there's some little ones. And I'm just going to leave that there just for a second. I'm going to move my planner. It's sitting off to the side here, and I feel like it's going to get ink on it if I leave it there any longer. Okay, so I'm just looking at this. I can see where the little bits are, but some of these drops are a bit big. It is still reactive. Excellent. So you can see how those little dots are picking up. So what I'm doing is I'm coming over with this piece of paper towel. I'm going to pick up some of the extras. And then I just want to add a few more little drops. But they've got that shine. I can see a little bit of the silver of the pearl there. It's just giving me a bit of flick. I can see it all over my hands too. Not that one. Alright, I just want a little bit more detailed flick. So I'm just grabbing out my little bottle here. A couple of little, oh, there's a sequin in there. I thought that was picking up the Perfect Pearls, but there's a sequin in there. I'm just going to give it the teeny tiny little flick because I want some shimmer in this, but I also want it to pick up just little dots. I'm going to bring white into this afterwards. I want the white to sit on the mermaid as well. Okay, I'm going to let that dry naturally because I want those dots to kind of do their thing. Oh, that's so pretty. I don't know if you guys can quite see. I love the white in the background. That's just making me happy. So I'm going to pop these ones back onto their sheet and I'm going to stamp out the mermaid. Now all I know with the mermaid is that I don't want perfection. I want her to be a little something. So let's go here. I'm going to put her on the same kind of paper. I don't want her on Copic paper, and I feel like I don't really want to colour her with Copics either. She's too something. She's too, yeah. So I'm going to stamp her with my Hero Art ink because it does let me watercolour with it, and it doesn't bleed too much. I'm just covering this whole thing. I really should get the Misty out for this bit, but I'm just gonna, you know, hope. Just gonna hope. Yeah, no, I should have got the Misty out, and that's okay. I'm gonna do that now. I'll get the Misty out and do it right, because otherwise I feel like I'm gonna not get the result I want, and that's not good. Put that in. Just give this a quick wipe off. I'll stamp this down, and then we'll work out how we're going to colour her. Alright, so I'm going to use some of the colours but then I'm also going to grab my watercolour pencils from Uniquely Creative just to give me some of the skin tones I need, because I don't have those. So they'll give me the colours. So the tail's going to be this tealy blue green colour, and her hair's going to be, I don't know, I wonder if her hair needs to be something else. I know I want to go with the tail, so I'm going to do that. I'm using a water brush pen for this because I feel like it gives me control that I don't have with others. So I'm just going to put that first lot of colour down and then come in with the darker and then kind of let that blend into each other a little bit. Oh yeah. And then repeat. So this could take a little while. I love these colours. I think that it was the ink that I thought would be the most or the least used if I bought this kit. And I'm looking at it going, no, this is beautiful. These are amazing. And I can't quite get over them. Alright, I'm being a little bit less precise now because I'm being silly. So I'm going to make all of these that sort of light blue. If you ever have, you're using watercolour, whether it's this way, using Distress, using watercolour pencils, whatever it is, and you feel like you're not getting what you need or what you want, like it looks too dry, don't be too scared to use a bit more water. I always find that it helps to use more rather than less, and you can always take some away if you need to. But you just get such nicer kind of patterns. I definitely went too blue with that one, but it's done now. And then for these little bits in the middle, that's where I'm going to bring in a little bit of this purple. But I'm going to try and be a bit more precise. I don't know if I can, but we'll try. Just a little bit of the magenta in some spots. Alright, for the tail, like the actual tail, I'm going to do that whole thing in the teal. I feel like I went more blue on the other, so I'm doing all teal for the tail, and then I'm going to work out her hair and colour in her body. Oh, whoops, I've smacked my watercolour pencil, that's alright. And then we'll come back for her hair, but I'll do these other bits sort of quickly now, and I'll come back for her hair. watercolour pencils, just as a note. They are so easy to blend. They give you such beautiful coverage. And like, I'm probably mixing together some funny colours, but I didn't want her just to be one shade. I wanted her to be a little darker. And that's why I brought in that really light brown. But it's just giving her a bit more shadow. And something I feel like I can't do well with watercolours is give shadow. So I thought I'd give it a go. I love with the tail that I could leave, not that I could leave, but that it didn't need to be like any kind of detail. It was really a wash of just that colour. And that was giving me what I needed to colour that in. And the cool thing too I love about watercolours is that if you are looking at it and you do think, oh, well, this looks a bit mustard, which is what I'm feeling this little bit down here. I put a little bit too much of the brown. You can pick the colour up. So you can take it away. You can put the colour down and you can be really sort of liberal with it, and then you can pick it up again if you don't like it. So if it is turning out too brown or too red or too whatever, you can move it so that it fits what you want to do. She does look a little yellow. When I've dried her, so that's the next thing I'm going to do, is I'm actually going to give her a really good hit of heat, because I want this to dry off so that I can come in and do something with the hair. But I'm going to come over and put another layer of the water, of the peach, just to give her less yellow. Actually, do I have a pink that's not pink? No, I don't, so I'm going to use that one. I want to cut her out first. Now there is a matching die with this one. I don't want to use it because I know that's going to give me, or I think it's going to give me, wait a minute, let's just check before we assume. I feel like it'll give me the edge and I don't want one. I want this to be, yeah, it'll give me a white edge, which normally I love and normally I really will go for. Just for today's, I don't want this to have an edge to it. So I'm going to cut her out and just fussy cut her right on the lines. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly, but carefully, because I want this to have no white space around the edge. You guys know I'll avoid fussy cutting if I can, and the fact that I'm not using the dies when I have them means that I must really want this to do something else. Okay, there's our mermaid. Oh, yes. That was what I wanted. I wanted her to sit in the middle there and it look right, and it does. It looks right. Yes, okay. So what I'm scared of with the hair is if I do it in the pinks and the purples, that it's going to be, it'll look too the same. It'll look too the same. Alright, I'm just going to go with it because I feel like I could sit here and and about it and we'd never get there. So let's just pop the magenta at the top. Sort of on the, I'm not good at hair, just as a side note. And then we'll bring in some of this purple over the top. And I'm just going to bring it down. I'm kind of trying to get sort of a bit of that fade. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I don't want it to be horribly dark at the ends. But I do still want there to be some shadow and differentiation in here. So let's just see how this goes. Oh, that's okay. I really thought it would end up being too much, but it's not. I will come in and put some green in her hair, or some blue in her hair as well, just so that we've got some extra colours. And I'm not being perfect. I'm not following the hair all the way down. I'm just trying to get it in spots. I'm really just using the magenta to start with, and I'll come in with some purple and some of the other colours afterwards. Okay, so I've got down a sort of magenta, so I'm just going to bring in a little bit. This is where I'm going to be a little bit more precise. Try and bring in some like purples in some of the streaks, and I'm kind of trying to follow it wherever it goes. So I'm just sort of picking one randomly and just going with it. So I'm just going to pick up a couple, and then I'll bring in a blue and a teal one in a second as well. But then just for one more little detail, I want to bring in a little bit of gold. So I've still got the pearlescent in the back here. I'm going to bring in some of this yellow, no, champagne gold. I need to fill my water bottle up, but that's okay. Now I'm going to do two things. First thing I'm going to do is do a little bit in her hair. I need a more fine detail one. I have lots and lots and lots and lots of brushes. This one actually isn't as, well, it's more fine detail, but isn't as small. So I'm just putting just a gold streak on either side, just to give it some sparkle. It's there and I can see it, but maybe it does need to be red gold instead. Let's undo. I want water. Sometimes the mucking up can deconcentrate it. So I'm just going in with the red one, or the blue one, sorry, which is a little darker. But I'm just using just a drop of water as opposed to, so you can see already it's just giving me a bit more coverage because it's more concentrated. So there's a little bit of gold there, just a couple. I should do one more. I don't like twos. Needs to be threes. Okay. And just do a little bit of that rose, or not that rose, the splatter on here, because I did say I wasn't done with the splatter yet. There we go. I'm going to dry this off. I'm going to pick all this up and clean it up. That's the first thing. I'm going to dry this off. We're going to add her to the page, and then we are just about finished. I'm just grabbing one of my Tombos out. This is N35. Just going around the edge. I don't want to use black because I feel like the ink isn't black, so I don't want to sort of point that out. So by using a darker grey, just kind of helps with that. So just sort of hide any of my really bad cutting. Which there wasn't too many. This actually wasn't as hard as I anticipated it being. I thought that this would be a really hard image to cut out because of all of the little wonks and kinks and stuff, but really the only hard part was around her fingers. Everything else was pretty easy. Okay, so she's got an edge. So then I'm also just grabbing these from Tim Holtz. I've had these in my collection for a while now and I haven't used them, so I'm going to use them. I'm grabbing a big, this is my super wide foam tape, because it doesn't give me any extra height, it just gives me extra width, which when I'm using something like this that's a bit of a big image, you can kind of get away with. I want her popped up. And if I have little bits like that, rather than wasting it here, I'm just going to pop that on the edge. Actually, I don't know. Pop that there. I will end up using it. And pop that on a little bit of the tail. Just making sure I can't see it. Okay. I'm not moving that marker either because I might still need it. And this is the Small Talk from Tim Holtz. I want the black. And then I'm just trying to see if I can find some quotes that I like. These are all inspirational kind of ones. So we've got life was meant for great adventure. Can never have too much happy. I like the no beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart. I'm just looking at that one thinking that might be the one. Just keep looking. Party is just cake with a party is without cake is just a meeting. No, this one. So it's this one here that says, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. I love that. So I want to stack this. So those who don't believe in magic will never find it. And I'm just taking a little bit off the edges, like off the start and the end. So let's just find the spot. So those who don't believe in magic will never find it. I'm just making sure I'm happy with where that's sitting, which I think I am. Yep. So I'll take off these bits, make sure she's sitting in the right spot. Now, she does kind of look like she's floating in the air, so the only thing and I know it's water, so it's kind of okay. But just part of me wants to put just a little bit of shadow under her. So this is a Tombow mark, this is N75, which is reasonably light. I'm just trying to get under her a little bit. And so what I'm kind of trying to do is make it look like there's like a ledge that she's sitting on, and then this stuff is in front. So it's a little bit different. And then I'm just rubbing it off the top of the heat emboss because it's going to resist it. I think that's okay. And then just to kind of do something similar, I'm just pulling one down the bottom. Okay, nearly there. I've got two more things to do. I want a little bit of Copic splatter, but I don't want it on her. No, I think I do. I think I do. So this is Copic white. Any white paint will do. I just use this one because I like the opaqueness of it. That said, I'm going to water it down with water anyway. I'm going back for that first little paintbrush that I had. I just want a little bit of white I'm just trying not to get her face. I don't mind a little bit everywhere else, but just not her face. If I get any, I'll just give it a quick sort of wipe. Alright, and then last but not least, just grabbing my 0.05 Sakura marker, my jelly roll. I've just got a splatter of white right in the V, so it didn't look right, so I'm just grabbing that. This isn't dry. It's still a little bit wet, and that's okay. But I just want to give these a bit of a scribble, just so that they don't look quite so something. There we go. Just going to give her a couple of little highlights with my 0.8. They've been sitting up for too long. I do find that my jelly rolls don't work as nicely on watercolour, but that's okay. And I'm going to leave it at that. I love that I just tried a bunch of new stuff. So number one, I had no idea that that ink was going to work out the way that it did. I just finally used these, which I've been meaning to use for ages. I would have liked that to be a little bit bigger, but I actually like the way it sits there underneath the fish. I love the background. The background's just giving me everything. I just love it. And I'm just lifting that up a bit because it was sitting low. But there we go. Finally did an art journal page that wasn't butterfly related, because every other one I have has been butterfly. So it's nice to do something different. But let me know what you think about this one. I think that this set is beautiful. I love that big mermaid. She's just, oh, she's everything. She's so beautiful. I need to find out something else to do with her hair. So if you have a suggestion of something else I could do with that, please let me know. I think it would make a beautiful shaker, but I don't know how that would work. So if you have an idea, let me know. You can leave it down below if you can find me on any of my socials. I do have lots of, well, not lots of, but a few art journal pages. If you want to go and check them out, I'll put that playlist at the end of this video as well. If you did enjoy it, give it that big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!